Hey everybody, NWA Prepper here. Got some thoughts on being ready for severe weather. So we talk a lot about, in the preparedness community, we talk a lot about, doomsday and when the balloon goes up, or SHTF, or, all those other biblical proportion events. Well, there's one that we overlook all the time, and where I live, it's a very real thing. It's a very real possibility. It affects us every year, and that is severe thunderstorms and tornadoes. Now, and being prepared for them is a little different in some people's mind. To me, it is not. But, so, I want to talk about it. Number one is, not everyone has a storm shelter or a basement or a safe room, certainly not a storm room in their homes. And if you do, or if you live somewhere that has one close, that's awesome. Particularly here where I live, we're kind of on the edge of Tornado Alley. And I mean, you would think there would be more of them, but there are not. So in my home, we do not have a safe room by definition, like the official reinforced walls and anti-collapse ceiling and things like that. But what we do have is that our local city, our little town has a community storm shelter. And they open it up anytime the weather says that we're going to be affected in a serious way. And not often, because number one, I have access to the emergency radio system. So I'm listening. If there's a storm, I'm listening to exactly where it's at, exactly where it's going. We have backup power. We have the ability to watch and see exactly where the storm is going to affect. And we're not far from that shelter. We could walk there in 2 minutes. 5 minutes. So it's not very far. But when we go there, when we go to our safe space, whether it's the most interior room of your home, often that is a bathroom, but not all the time, you want to be in the center of your structure. If you don't have a storm cellar or a basement, you want to go to the centermost room of your home, without any windows to the outside, without any external doors. You don't want to be on an external wall. You want to be in the middle of your house. If that's a hallway, that connects your bedrooms, if it's, a big walk-in closet, if it's your bathroom, climbing in your bathroom, the pipes, which is what I grew up hearing, being in the bathtub, the pipes and the plumbing are going to keep you in the house, is bull crap. What's going to protect you is being on the innermost area of your home. You don't want to be in a big open room. And if you are in that big open room, you want to be under something like a heavy duty table up against the interior wall. So when things collapse, they create voids along the corners of the wall. And you want to be in one of those voids. You want to have, whether it's the exact same gear or something separate, you want to have your safety equipment, your bug out bag, we have a tub, a storm, I say that, it does multi-purpose, but it's in a tub that has flashlights in, some bottles of water and some snacks and a couple of blankets and socks and a little battery powered radio, and there's lots of places to get a basic emergency supply kit, but those are some of the highlights that we have in ours. When we went to the community shelter, the first time we went, it was very telling. Excuse me. We showed up because part of my job is I'm a key holder for that shelter. So I've committed that to go there and unlock it and to kind of be the calming voice of, hey, we know what's going on. Here's the weather report. Here's where we're going to be safe. Don't worry, calm down. That I'm part of that crew, the shelter management crew. And so the first time we go there for real, that's not a drill, we get there and I've got my 2 kids and their bags and my wife and her bag and my bag and 2 camp chairs. Not the greatest thing for a shelter, but it's a big concrete square. And we knew we were going to be there for several hours, and so we took our camp chairs. We had blankets, and the kids had their sleeping bags, and in their bag they had games and snacks and books, their headlamps and some glow sticks, and their favorite toy. Like at the time, Matthew had a puppy, a little stuffed puppy. I forget what my daughter's animal was, but they had those with them. And then we went in there and they started playing games and coloring. And of course, nobody else in that shelter had anything. I mean, nothing. A couple of them had a blanket, but that's just because they were wearing it in because it was storming outside. And we come in our rain gear with every one of us had our bags, and the kids instantly had things to keep them occupied. Amy had everything she needed. We had our Bibles, and she had one of her puzzle books, and we had a little backup radio. We each had a radio. The kids could listen on their headphones if they wanted, or we could listen to the weather. And as I look, and there were several families, and I'm talking 24 families in this shelter, plenty of room for 150, 200 people. And so there's plenty of room, but they were absolutely unprepared. So those are some things to think about that you want to have easily accessible for a storm kit. Now, your bug out bag is great, because if it's time to go, if you look at the weather, which we're very blessed in our society, in our country, that most everyone can turn on the local television channel and see the weatherman going, hey, right here in Bentonville, this neighborhood, you have a tornado coming at you in the next 10 minutes. And so you have time to react. And if you've got to get out, having all that ready right by the door, just like a bug out bag implies, by the door, ready to go, can make it easy. Whether or not it's your never coming home bag is totally up to you. But for storms, plan on going to a shelter, whether it's a community shelter, whether it's your neighbor's basement, whether it's your basement, whether it's the centermost room of your home, and have the things you need to keep you comfortable for an amount of time while things blow over, or if something happens and your home is hit and you're trapped in there by debris, you're trapped in there by, the entrances are blocked, you're waiting for someone to get in there with you to get you out, make sure you have the things that you need to survive a while. Your first aid kit, your flashlights, blankets, a radio, a way of communication, some food and water, and something to keep people occupied a little bit. I like card games or puzzle books, things like that. So I know this one's a little long. I could go on and on about normal everyday stuff, but that's my thoughts on what you need in a storm kit and where you need to go in your home. If you have any questions, or if you know a little bit more on this subject than I do, please leave it down in the comments. If you don't want to comment, you can email me. Go to nwaprepper.com, scroll down the page a little bit, you'll see a message block. Type your message in there, it goes straight to my phone. Thank you guys for watching, and stay safe this spring as we get closer to storm season. Let's get ready.